just want your love. I just want your love.
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon. Welcome to another episode of AMA. How this works is you ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will answer them in the upcoming videos. Today's question comes from viewer number 1, and he says, is it a really big gap with the apps and games, or is it not really noticeable? I am a Symbian user, wow, and I'm looking for an LG G4 or Lumia 950 XL. I want your advice to make my decision. I hear that the LG G4 battery life sucks, just like the Galaxy S6. Is this true? Thanks. Yes, good sir. The battery life on all Android phones suck. They may tell you elsewhere. You know, I want you guys to seek out any Android review you like and listen to what the reviewers say. They are the benchmark for battery life on Android is significantly lower. If these guys can get 5 hours of useful time, display time out of their phone, they say it's a very good. Like, no, that's not very good. Stop doing that. The iPhone Plus, the 6 Plus trumps that by like 18 hours, and so does Windows Phone. But I see these reviewers really giving dynamic thoughts and opinions based on, oh, because it's Android, that's good for Android. Like, no, it's still terrible. Come on, let's stop that madness. Sorry, back to your question. The app gap between Android and Windows Phone, is it noticeable? Yes. It's noticeable. It's a landslide, my friend. I mean, let me be very clear. Let me be very honest with you. One of the things when I switched to Android that was a breath of fresh air was to be able to have this. I can go into the App Store, which, by the way, the what do they call it? The market is a fuck fest. It's not easy to navigate, and there's just like you get this barrage of results for one simple thing you ask, and you don't know, like, wait, which one is the real one? That's a very real thing. That's an issue, actually. I don't know how they could make that better. But one of the things I enjoyed was I recently got, which I'm shooting now, I got my Sony 7A Mark II, or even this guy. This was my previous shooter, and I wanted to be able to pull pictures. You know, we're out shooting a nice day of shooting some photography, and you get on a train. I got about an hour and a half ride home, so it was nice to be able to pull the pictures from the camera right on my phone and start reviewing, because it increased my workflow. Right when I get home, I already know what shots I want to edit up right away and get out there. Now, with Android, I was able to just go in the marketplace and search for Sony Play. Boom, that's it. The app is there, it works, done. And because the Galaxy had NFC, so does my Windows Phone, and this guy has NFC, it literally worked as advertised. I touched the phone to the camera and the pictures are on their way over. I was like, wow, well, that worked. And then I got the Philips Hue lights. I got them all through the house, and I went in, I came home, I downloaded the app, and it worked. Although the app keeps crashing on my Android phone, the app was there. And then YouTube Red came out, and I'm sick and tired of complaining about not being able to play YouTube videos in the background. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. And then YouTube Red came out, and I was able to get it. Now, the flip side of that was there are third-party apps out there that allows me to pull the images off my Sony camera, because it is a fairly common protocol, and some of the developers were able to tap into the APIs that Sony developed, but it wasn't as seamless. In fact, I had to turn on the Wi-Fi. Well, the Wi-Fi is always on, but I had to go on the Wi-Fi setting on my phone, look for the Wi-Fi in the camera, and then type in the password. I didn't have to do that when I use NFC. NFC initiated that handshake. So that's one. My Hue lights, there are apps out there on the Windows Phone, but they're not as nice. They're not as well done as the real app, and some of them are cumbersome, right? And it's just these things over and over you start to see. And then there's apps that are just missing altogether. Snapchat, and we've got 6snap for that. Proper Instagram, we've got 6tag for that. Tinder, we've got whatever the Tinder version is. So you can find the third-party version that's not as nice or as neat as the real version, but you get the job done. And then there's apps that we just don't get at all. Nothing Google. We got third-party shit for that, but it sucks. And that's a decision to be made, right? But the other part of your question that I really thought was interesting, you're already a Symbian user. I suspect that you will be 1,000% happy with Windows Phone, and you would embrace the operating system and you would just love it, versus being 1,000% happy with the app selection on Android and completely hate the experience of the device, hate the experience of the battery life and the quirks that come along with Android. So I mean, it's all about you. What do you use? What do you see yourself using? Because you're thinking about a theoretical world, right? You don't know what these apps are. You don't have these apps. You're a Symbian user. So you have no idea how large it is on either scale. You need to really sit down and say, okay, what is it I want to do? If I were to get a new phone, what new worlds would I like to explore? Am I going to do some Instagramming? Am I going to do some Tindering? Am I going to do some Snapchatting? Am I gonna be changing all of my accounts over to Google and start using Gmail and using all of these? You gotta think about it that way. And whichever way you go, me personally, when you compare these devices outside of the app environment, the app conversation, when you compare the experience, the elegance, the stability, the speed, the longevity of the battery, these Lumias are killing it by far. The only thing close to them is really Apple. And still, you don't get that expandable storage. You don't get that removable battery. So I think Microsoft is making a good case for someone like you to come on board. So yeah, hopefully I answered you. Hit the comments below if you want to add something else to it. I'll help you out and get you where you need to be. It's your boy Ramon. Thank you for your question. I'm out of here. Peace.